stretch because, we weren't obviously expecting Malik to go down, and we were trying some things that Malik has a pretty good feel for with Fox out on the floor, and then we had to play HB and Keegan extended minutes, and having Trey gives us the ability to continue defending the way we like to defend against Dallas, but giving HB a little bit more rest throughout the course of the game. And so, again, having those two bodies, those two veteran bodies, it just helps our overall depth, and which is very, very much needed. And then it helps our spacing because both those guys can shoot the ball, and they know how to play basketball the right way.
Mike, obviously you've talked a lot about, like, through the whole season that the Kings, this group needs to find, like, different ways to win, like if the shot's not going down, things like that. How gratifying is it to you to see a win like this? Obviously, you shot, I believe it was 28% from three, sure, but obviously you still beat a good Clipper team pretty handily. So how gratifying for you, after that's been the message all year, is a win like this?
The thing I like about it is this is how you win in the playoffs. You don't win in the playoffs averaging 125 points a game and thinking that's how you're going to win. That's fool's gold. You just look back at the teams in the past that were high-scoring teams. Fun to watch. I enjoyed watching them during the regular season, but they were out after the first round. If they got lucky, maybe the second round. And you just look at the history of NBA champions. I don't think there are many NBA champions that finished outside of the top 10 on the defensive side of the floor in the last 25, 30 years. There might be a couple because there are some exceptions from time to time. But you have to have a balanced team. Your offense has to be pretty good, but your defense has to be exceptional, because when you get to that second, third round, I mean, it's tough, and that shot ain't gonna always go in. Now you go from having media coverage of maybe 15 or 10 people, you got 50, 75 media members watching your every move. You got your family asking for you got all these expectations. It's crazy. And one thing you have control over is how hard and how physical you play defensively. And if you believe that, you're gonna have a chance. And for me, our group is heading in the direction that they need to head in order to have some success come playoff time. It's no guarantee, but I'd rather have more control on the defense. I'd rather have more control for us, knowing that we can defend and knowing that, hey, we got a pretty good chance of scoring. I'd rather have it that way than, oh, man, this shot better go in, because it ain't always going to happen.
Poignant words from your head coach, Mike Brown. Really, actually, probably the most candid I've heard Coach Brown this season, especially this late in the season. And you think about the way the team was trending. They were trending the way Mike Brown was talking about. And what happens? Injuries. Hey, right off the top, I want to give a shout out to, and I want to make sure I say it right. So I am going to the X. I got to make sure I got this right. Crown Downtown. They caught my attention about 15 minutes before the game. They're sitting there having a snack, having a drink in front of Madison Square Garden. Been doing it since 09, 010, making trips. I love it. Make memories. Have a great time, guys. That's not the only game going on tonight. Remember, it's the Stockton Kings. Western semis down from Stockton. Told you guys all season, not that part of Stockton. Not too late to get there. Tickets starting at $10. I'll be there covering the game. So come say hi to me. And as I said, the Kings Court gave away a courtside seat. A fan will be accompanying me tonight. That'll be a lot of fun. But hey, you're here for the Kings and the Knicks. Let's get to it. Welcome to If You Don't Like That.
2, 1, go.
Sacramento miscue. Carter, stolen by Williams. And look at this. Oh, you don't like that. You don't like NBA basketball. Fox, goodbye. Oh, if you don't like that, you don't like NBA basketball. The exclamation point from De'Aaron Fox. That's an ESPN highlight right there. Whoa. Carlson comes in. How about this? Holy moly, Jim Bob Foley. That is a major league smush.
And welcome back into the pregame show. Ryan and Sacktown here coming to you from the Kings Court Studios. Yes, the brand new studios. No more audio problems. Patrick, it's a bummer. I know. Dude, I know. For you guys, this was the year. At least I still think you guys might be able to make a little bit of noise. But for those underestimating, Patrick, help me out here. Pick me up. The importance of this game for New York tonight. It is so important. They need this game. It's being set up. The media there, you guys know about the media in New York. They're selling it as they've got to win this game to make sure they don't lose home court advantage in the playoffs. So it's a really, really interesting game. Completely disagree with you, Faustino. You are entitled to your opinion, but don't put that in the atmosphere in this pregame show. Flores, needless to say, but huge game tonight, everyone. Yes, I agree. What's up, Zach? A road trip like this separates the men from the boys. Yeah, 2-2 on this road trip would be huge. And guys, there's been no sun all day. It literally thundered an hour ago, and now I get sunlight right when the show's going to start. I mean, I love it, but lighting-wise, not the best for y'all. But let's get back to what you're saying. The Kings go 2-2, and this is the deadly stretch, the Boston-New York stretch. Hate that one. On one hand, we think how unfortunate we are to play against these high. Everybody plays the same schedule, Zach, at this point. Yeah, I get it. It's a rough stretch. It's a really rough stretch. Here we go. Here the bleep we go. Zach hopping back in. On the other hand, playing these playoff teams is going to give us a barometer. Yeah. So again, I want to go back to what Coach Brown said at the top of the show. What Coach Brown said, to say that at this time in the season, and here's the deal. There's not a lot of people, well, I think we can all agree that there's been a disconnect with this Sacramento Kings team, whether that be theoretically, whether that be personally. I don't think it's anything on that side personally. In fact, I've heard nothing to that. But when you talk about personnel and styles, you got to ask yourself, Coach Brown is hounding right now on spraying the ball. Spray the ball. Says if two are on you, spray it. I don't disagree with him, but do those rules apply to De'Aaron Fox? He's the reigning clutch player of the year, and if they do, what's that say about the styles? I mean, can you have, and De'Aaron Fox he's an isolation point guard. Can you work an isolation point guard into a team motion offense? We're going to see. And that's what's so exciting about this stretch of basketball. Wow, what's up? You'll be very surprised if the Kings beat the Knicks. Well, hopefully you are surprised. That would make me pretty happy. PK hopping back in. Dude, PK, you know what? I already put that up, man. Yeah, let's all go to Stockton. Yeah, I bet Finchy will be there. We'll see. The Kings do, but here's the thing. The Kings don't necessarily have trouble with these teams when they punch first. If the Kings punch first, they're probably going to be okay. And I'll promise you this, too. If you score 115 points tonight, you win this game. The New York Knicks, their last 4 outings, remember, they've lost 3 of the 4 last games. They have scored respectfully 99 in their last loss to Miami, 112 in a loss to OKC, 126 in the loss to San Antonio. That one's rough. And then Toronto, they win. They put up 145. So that's why I say 115 gets it tonight. Also, if the Kings are the first team to 100 points, that's a good sign. And I know that's generic, but it's true with the way that they're playing and the way they're going to do that. I preached this last game, transition, 7-0 transition. I know they didn't score a lot in transition last game, but they didn't allow any in transition last game. So can the Kings do the same there? Offensive rebounds, you get the point. So this is a big one. Want to get your predictions in here. 101-95 Kings. Love it. Let's get the 6th spot. Half a game out from New Orleans. Orlando did you a favor last night. Can the Kings capitalize on that? Yes. Hope in the afternoon. You got it, Patrick. That's what I'm here for. Yes, shout out to the Stockton Kings. Playoff game tonight. Guys, it's not gonna be a G1C atmosphere. Don't expect that, but there's a very loyal fan base down there, and it's gonna be rocking. It's gonna be rocking well. I'll be right there. We're sitting KR1. So we'll be right in the middle of the action, but I am excited to be able to cover that, talk to some of the guys, and give you guys some on that. That means I will not be here post game. However, Grant will be, and who knows what he might dig up or pull out of his sleeve. Halftime, though, Jerry and Grant will be here, so make sure you guys check back in. Yeah, we need to get both games. Guys, we know, but realistically, this is the game you have to have. And this is the other thing that we haven't said yet. Grant and I talked about it, and Jerry agreed on Grant and Jerry yesterday that if the Kings get down big, if the game is out of reach, like early third quarter, call off the dogs. You got to get them rested, and you got to get them right for Boston. And I know that they have less of a chance in Boston, but at least it's a chance. If they're completely out of this game in New York, move on. And that's how the Kings have to treat some of these remaining games because, again, it's so brutal. What's going on, Stan? We have to get the win tonight. I agree with you, buddy. Sorry, the reflection's getting me, guys. I'm going to come over here to this screen, so you're going to see me looking over here for a minute. Gamer, what's up? Got to watch out for Dante is going to be a wild card in this one. Here's why. You could take him out of the game, or you can let him score 50. He can score 50 from his role. He had over 40 the other night. He had 31 against the Heat. So the Kings have to be very careful. Again, it comes down to the Kings not giving role players open threes. You can give them shots. You just can't give them open threes. If you contest the shot, it's fine. That's the point of the Kings defense. The role players, you want them to beat you. The other thing, Coach Brown and a lot of people, in fact, Katie talked about it a ton on the telecast. If you watched the pregame show last game, I talked about the Kings getting to the Clippers spots before the Clippers got to their spots and putting that pressure on them. Well, hell, they did a great job of it. And then also Keon, he's got fresh legs, only played about 21 minutes last game. He fouled out, but he also had 7 boards in that time. Coach Brown was really, really quick to pick him up right there. Let's see, Lyles, push back against the Knicks' aggression. Hey, Lyles is, he's sneaky. He's an undercover dog. He is. He brings it. And by the way, game on TNT tonight. My man, the prescriber. You did prescribe 2 wins. So, prescriber, what do you prescribe tonight? Stockton, playoffs. They're playing really good. Colby's not with the team. Colby's with the Kings. So, which way you going on that one? And which way you going tonight, prescriber? You know, prescriber, I'm going to have to get you a drop. You know what?
No yeet.
No yeet for Ryan. I don't have a drop for the prescriber. So we will get him one of those, but give us your prescription, prescriber. I actually like it. No, he is not. He had season-ending surgery, which we talked about. So Kevin Huerter, he is, he's a little bit of a toss over the shoulder. Oh, I see. Not all devices here are touchscreen. Sorry about that. Toss over the shoulder. All right. A lot talking about this. I'm not going to get into it here. That's a better conversation for Grant. I'm more geared for Kings and Stockton Kings basketball, but we will talk A's eventually. Kings should match New York defensive intensity with Keon. Yeah, and so the other part of this too is Hartenstein and Len. I'm going to be looking at them because when I look at New York's offense, I want to zone them a lot if I'm Mike Brown. And the zone defense worked well last time. And I know Brunson killed them because the Kings they did better. They were switching still. So that was one of the first times the Kings were switching on the perimeter. And that's because Keon was in the starting lineup, or he was getting the minutes. Kevin was hurt. So I think the Kings have a route there. I think you're right. But the zone defense, I don't know if you're the Knicks, who you're going to get in the middle of the zone. Let's think about it. You guys put your thoughts in there too. There's some obvious choices. Randall would have been the one you wanted, but he is gone. Patrick referenced that. He is going to be having season-ending surgery. You know, I have not heard on Josh Hart. As far as I have heard, he's questionable, but I have not checked since being on the air, so I'll check that. You guys can pick me up and throw that in the chat if you are looking as well. A lot of questions about Hart, so we will get the answer on that. My man, Baki. Yes, I love it. Yeah, we've got her holy moly Jim Bob Bowley dialed in too, so she is a drop here on the show. Aaron, welcome to the show. Thinks the Kings will have a big statement win tonight. Keon will have a big game, lead us to victory. Let's go Kings. Well, so the spray threes, this is why it's an interesting conversation to me. The spray threes are an interesting conversation because I think what Mike Brown's trying to say is the spray threes need to make up for the missed firepower that the Kings don't have right now. And here's how. The Kings aren't going to be explosive offensively. They will be here and there. We've seen that. But if the Kings have an opportunity where they have a wide open three versus taking a contested layup, and I know this is a very, very heated debate amongst the fan base, but at this point in the season, if it's a wide open three, you got to kick it out because you got to make up the point somewhere. A lot of the looks the Kings are getting in the offense, they're not as good of looks. And here's the other problem: dribbling. Look for the amount of dribbling the Kings do on offense tonight. The more they dribble, the more trouble they will get into. Here's why. The Knicks are great at pressuring the ball. Pressuring. They're physical. You guys have been all over that. So, man, there's a route. There's a route there. But the pick and roll, too, I want to see the Kings target matchups because I see some matchups where I think the Kings could actually take advantage a little bit on that front line. Keegan Murray, a huge part of that. Hey, what's up, D Fox, Goat King? Hey, Ryan, what do you think are the 3 keys to the game? So the first key to the game, transition defense. The Kings have to win, or transition offense and defense. Kings have to win the transition game. They did last game. The last few games they've won transition, with the exception of the Jazz. The Jazz did win the transition game. Second key to the victory tonight is pressure, pushing the Knicks off their spots, whether the Kings are in zone defense, whether they throw a variation of a trap in there, whatever they do, the pressure has to stay up. I don't care if you play the equipment manager, put his ass out there and let him have 6 fouls, throw different looks at Jalen Brunson. Third key to the game, De'Aaron Fox, 8 or more assists. He's playing off the ball, which is not his comfort. It's not what got him to the NBA. De'Aaron Fox has played most of his career on the ball. You remember I don't want to say we kind of, but there was some weirdness when Hallie was here because both those guys need the basketball. Now the offense is running through Sabonis. So there's other keys to the game as well. Good question. I'll hit some of those, but those to me are the big ones. Do Sasha and Lyles bring us physicality we didn't have last time? Yeah, they do. Not so much Sasha, but Lyles does. Absolutely. Good point there. Let's see. We're getting closer and closer to the Kings and the Knicks national TV game. The modified TNT crew is doing the pregame right now. So thanks for being live and local here with me. Sasha will take charge, but he is not physical otherwise. How do you know that? Protoek? How do you know that? I don't think you do because he hasn't played enough. I don't think we can make that judgment on Sasha Vezenkov quite yet. Let's see. The glare's getting me right now, guys. I feel like every TNT game I check into this C team nowadays. No, not necessarily. No, it's just different. The Kings haven't had very many national TV games on TNT on ESPN. Well, define go crazy. As long as it's within the offense. And I posed the question at the top. Not only about the ISO with De'Aaron Fox, but here's the other question about De'Aaron Fox. Can he be a threat defensively? Can the Kings put him in a position to play more of his natural defensive position, which is kind of think of a free safety in football. That's what I like it to for De'Aaron Fox. But hey, we're getting closer and closer to the tip of the Kings and the Knicks. Napes and Jerry Reynolds will be here at halftime. Looking forward to that. By the way, y'all, got some big news on the Kings court side. We'll get to that in a second. Hey, Bennett's West Side Grill in Rockland. You know about it. That's the newest location in the Blue Oaks Town Center. They've got brunch on the weekends. They've got great dining specials during the week, and it will not break the bank to go there, have a great meal, and get that fine dining atmosphere too. In fact, I talked to Brian yesterday. There is a date on the calendar for the Kings Court Listener Appreciation Brunch. It's going to be May 4th. And we're going to have some special guests as well. I'm going to be giving away some VIP spots there, meaning your meal is paid for. You get to come early, hang with some of the Sacramento personalities that you likely know. We're going to have a good time. I want to say thank you to all of you who have made the Kings Court great, and also all of you that make If You Don't Like That great, because I know that a lot of the listenership is interchangeable. So thank you so much for that opportunity. I really appreciate it. And if you have not checked out the Kings Court, go check it out. That will take you, that QR page or QR code will take you to my Twitter page. But you can find the Kings Court on any major podcast platform. Looking forward to it. All right, let's get some of your predictions in here, guys. Let's get it cleaned up. Let's see. The Knicks can be exposed by 3-point line. Glad Monk is out. So you bring up a good point, Patrick, but it's a slippery slope. The Knicks you're right, they can be exposed, but do you want the Kings shooting that many threes and playing that style of basketball? Maybe, if they're going down. Maybe. 4 to 6 weeks, and I don't think there's enough time there for Monk to get right. I mean, the Kings would have to go on a massive run. You guys know what I'm talking about. Yeah, let's get some scores in here. Prescribe your score. Lau. 105-94, New York. All right. I'm going to give you my score because as I said at the top, I'm going to be down in Stockton covering the Stockton Kings playoff game. So I think this one's going to be a slugfest. I don't think either team is going to be able to pull away from each other. I think the Knicks may start out on a little run. The Knicks will come out hot. But I think the Kings hang around. I think it's a game where the Kings only have a couple leads and they come late and the Kings hang on to it. Although, I like for the Kings to make more free throws than the other team takes, I will just take a good free throw percentage because the refs, what? We talked about the keys. Let's just throw this out there. The refs are also a huge key to this game. And here's why I'm saying they're a key, not because of mistakes. They're a key because how are they going to call the game? Think about it. How are they going to call the game? They could really put the Kings in a corner here tonight. If the refs are calling it really tight and taking the physicality away from this one or not letting them mix it up, and I get it. There's a fine line between mixing it up,
No yeet.
I understand. No yeet if the refs don't let the Kings and the Knicks mix it up. But you got to let them do that. If you let them mix it up too much, the Kings could get into foul trouble. So that's where they also have to watch out. But the worst case scenario for me, guys, the worst case scenario and gals is the refs calling it tight because I don't know what the Kings are going to do. Patrick, that's when the Kings probably need to light up the 3-point line. So we're getting some more scores in the prescribe. Is that the prescriber? No, that's Frog. What up, Frog? He's saying, Ryan, the thing about this game is that I don't like the Knicks have lost. Frog, you nailed it. We talked about it at the top of the show. Frog, well done. That's exactly what we're worried about too. The Knicks, they're too good of a team to lose 4 games in a row this time of year. Now, I still think the Kings can pull it out the way that I talked about. And there's a million ways they could pull it out. There's a million ways they could lose it. But Frog, spot on. Thank you for refreshing that and bringing that back to the conversation. I mean, liken it to the Kings. I think the Knicks are a better team than the Kings. We can all agree on that. But, well, at least this incarnation with the Kings and the injuries. But, yeah, great point. Great point. I just, if the Kings were in this situation, would they lose 4 in a row? I don't think they would. I don't, even when they're up and down. I mean, the Kings, they've been a wooden roller coaster this year. They've been up and down. They're nothing too exciting. They don't go upside down, but they're old and reliable. So we'll see. Look, here's the bottom line. I said this. I have this running list. It's in my bag right now because I'm taking my stuff down to Stockton with me. But I have a list of different thoughts that have come to me over the season, right? And some of the thoughts that have come to me, one specifically, and it just came to me yesterday, it's about big games, right? Sacramento fans are always worried about the big game. We've got the play-in possibly coming up. And by the way, y'all, if you haven't heard this, if the Kings win tonight and the Houston Rockets lose, the Kings will have clinched the 10 seed, or at least, let's be clear about that.
No yeet.
Yes, let's be clear. Let's be clear about that. They have at least clinched the 10 seed. They can move up from there, but they are also only a half game outside of the 6 seed. Yeah! I know, Randall. I love it. But anyways, let's get a few more comments in. We're going to get you out to the game because they're going to be starting here in a little bit. Baki getting a lot of love. Trying to beat them with the 3-pointers is a losing. Bingo. Did you not? Yeah, Lau. It's exactly what Coach Brown said. Hey, Coach Brown, think about this for a second. You know what? Let's rerun that really quick. I want to rerun the last, give or take, 40 seconds of this. This was Coach Brown after last game's win over the Clippers.
The thing I like about it is this is how you win in the playoffs. You don't win in the playoffs averaging 125 points a game and thinking that's how you're going to win. That's fool's gold. You just look back at the teams in the past that were high-scoring teams. Fun to watch. I enjoyed watching them during the regular season, but they were out after the first round. If they got lucky, maybe the second round.
Hey, prescriber, is that a prescription or a wish? Let me know, prescriber. That matters. That matters on how good of a time I'll have. Back to Mike Brown.
And you just look at the history of NBA champions. I don't think there are many NBA champions that finished outside of the top 10 on the defensive side of the floor in the last 25, 30 years. There might be a couple because there are some exceptions from time to time. But you have to have a balanced team. Your offense has to be pretty good, but your defense has to be exceptional, because when you get to that second, third round, I mean, it's tough. And that shot ain't gonna always go in. Now you go from having media coverage of maybe 15 or 10 people. You got 50, 75 media members watching your every move. You got your family asking for you got all these expectations. It's crazy. And one thing you have control over is how hard and how physical you play defensively. And if you believe that, you're gonna have a chance. And for me,
okay, so here it is. Mike Brown just called out the way the Kings have played basketball for a year and a half. Tell me different. He's saying, when I came to Sacramento, this is the basketball that I wanted to play. So it's a really interesting thing. No wishes from the prescriber. It is a good thing. All right, so we're going to get ready to get you guys out. I want to get some of these last-minute comments in. Kings became more fun to watch and a better team with the ejection of Keon and Len. Well, let's hold on. Len, let's be careful. I'm a big Alex Len guy. This is a big Alex Len house. You know that. Big Kessler Edwards house as well. But Alex Len, it's way, and Keon Ellis too, way too soon, Lau. Way too soon. I'm not saying they haven't given you energy, but I think Sacramento fans are falling in love with the idea of the roles and not necessarily the player in the roles, because it's different than what we've had. We've talked about a rim protector. We've talked about look, if I had a dime for every time I heard a Keon Ellis to Doug Christie comparison, because it just, it's too soon. Any comparison's too soon. Because Keon just signed a main roster contract. That's why. Anyway, sorry about that, guys. You know what? I see this question about European basketball. Hit me up on X. I will get to you. Yes, Athena, the game's starting. You guys get out there. Good luck. Hey, y'all, remember the Kings. The Kings. Stockton Kings. Playoff game tonight in Stockton. Not too late to get there. Let's get the last of your guys' comments up. Keep them clean. Get them in. And have a great first half. As I mentioned, I am going to be in Stockton, and I got a fan joining me as well. So pay attention to the Kings Court. Pay attention if you don't like that. We've got a lot of fun giveaways and things going on, so we appreciate all of your support, y'all. Stay tuned to my Twitter page at Ryan_in_Sacktown. If you want some updates on what's going on in Stockton, I'll be posting from there. And I'll be staying tuned to the Kings as well. So, hey, enjoy the first half. National TV. We've got our keys. We know what the Kings need to do. You know what they need to do? They need to run the Knicks off the court. That's what they need to do. Run the Knicks off of the court.
That's not a good call. No. You don't like that call. I don't like that call.
Tell him, LT. Good night, Knicks. Go Kings. Light the beam. Go Stockton Kings. Court is. Oh my God. I got too many shows. Hey, thank you so much for being on the pregame show. Don't forget. I'm going to throw this up one more time. Make sure you come back tonight. Grant Napier, Jerry Reynolds at halftime. Subscribe to Grant's YouTube channel right there. If you don't like that, that'll be a lot of fun. Go Kings.